It's been quite a while since I've done my Hearth Display / Cozy Law video review of these kind of large calendar type devices that you can put in your home to get the family on the same page. Now, since that time, Hearth has released a ton of updates, and I wanted to break down all of the updates to the Hearth Display so that you can make an informed decision as to which device is going to be right for your family. So let's dig into all of these updates that are on the Hearth Display now. The first one you're going to notice is one of the things that I said was a negative for the Hearth Display in my original video, and that is the ability to have these personalized photos on the display that can rotate. So you can now upload up to 20 pictures that will rotate through the display so that you can kind of have some really nice fun pictures on the display. So I've set the timeout right now to 1 minute because that is going to help me show off that feature a little bit better. But generally I have the time set to 1 hour. I would like to have the option of never timing out the screen, so it wouldn't actually show those pictures. And so I don't know if I would actually use that, but it wouldn't be nice to have that option so I can always see the calendar. Now, this is the display mode that has always been on the Hearth Display. It's just this calendar where you can see all of the different members of your family. If you wanted to turn off a specific member, you can come in here and turn off those appointments, and then you would only see the calendar for the people you've selected. But we're gonna go ahead and turn that one back on. And this just syncs with Google Calendar. So any Google Calendar items that you want to sync up is going to be available for you here. And you're going to associate which calendar it goes to which person in the Hearth app on your phone. This is the original Hearth Display mode. They have added this new mode that I am super excited about. So if you come in here to today, this is kind of the default view for the day. Now you can see the events that are happening today, and it's going to give you time frames of those events. You can see kind of how your family's doing by checking off items. You can have this note, so if you want to have a quote for your family for the week or a family motto, you could put here. It's Roundup Week in our city, which is just basically a celebration in the city, and so we can put that note there, let everybody know what's going on for the week. Then you've got your events here, and then you have your routines here. So you set up these routines. So I'm gonna go into this bedtime routine, and you can say, okay, how do I feel? Oh, okay, I am feeling happy today. We're gonna say done. And that's gonna go into that family score. And then clean off the counters, we've done that. And then start the dishwasher, we've done that. And so yay, now we've completed our routine for the day. This is brand new in the Hearth is meals. So you can set up what meals you're going to cook for the day. You can come in here, and this is where the meals are. You can see like what meals are for breakfast, lunch, snack, dinner, and then when you're ready to cook them, you can come in here and you can cook the recipe. So if we look at the taco soup recipe, this is the ingredients, here's the instructions, and you can import recipes from any website. So you just copy and paste the URL. You could add your own recipes. So this is from a URL, this particular recipe, but we've got chicken pillows. This is a one that I've just added on my own, and you can add whatever recipes you want, and then you can plan them for the day. And so let's say you're kind of a minimalist person, you do the same recipes every week. You can go ahead and copy this week, copy meals too, and then let's say I've got a rotation of I'm gonna do the same meals the same week every month. I can copy and paste it into the week of July 19th, and it's gonna copy all of that, so I don't have to keep adding things to the meal plan. So we'll come back in here into today, and then we've got the to-dos right here, so I can just say we've taken the trash to the curb, and it's gonna clear it out right there. I love this dashboard display. In the past, you've had to kind of go in here, go into lists, and then mark it done. But now it's all kind of right in one area. And then you can go into this family view, and you can see the routines and to-do items for each member of the family broken out right here. But again, I love this dashboard display, and that's going to be kind of where you're mainly focused on. So let's kind of go into some of the settings. Again, we've got these display settings. Like I said, we've got sleep mode. So automatically every night, and this was something that was already part of the display, is I can set it so that it kind of goes black at 11 p.m. and it turns back on between 6 and 7 a.m. really when it kind of detects that things are going on. So we're going to have that happen, then the screen timeout, and then you can set up a lock passcode. I don't like to set that up. Again, the kids aren't getting onto YouTube or anything like that, so I don't think it's necessary to have a passcode, especially when you want them to check off the routines, check off their to-do items right here on the display. So, and then we've got showing the weather, and you can set all those display modes there. Now, where you can upload the images is in the app. So you just open up the app, and I'll show you this right here. So you open up the app, you go into the display settings, and then that's where you can add the individual photos that you want it to rotate through and how often it's going to rotate through those photos. So you can just pick your 20 favorite photos and let it ride. Now, I also do wish that you could kind of adjust the photo. It's going to cut it into this portrait mode, but if the photo is not necessarily in portrait mode, it's going to cut off some of the things on the other sides. So if you want to recenter that photo or anything, you can't quite do that yet. But again, all of that is going to be just in the app. Now you can set up your meal plans in the app right here. So this is how you add a recipe to the recipe folder here. And then you can categorize it as what type of meal that it goes along with. And then all of the information is just right there, available on your display anytime you need to make that meal. So you can also come in here and go to meal settings. If you don't want to show snack, you can turn the snack off, or like lunch. So maybe they have lunch at school, so you're just going to show breakfast and show dinner. So I'll show you how that looks here. And now we're only seeing breakfast and dinner instead of that entire grid. Here's also where you're going to set up these routines for yourself. Now, when you do set up routines, you can actually set up the routine to have values associated with each of these routine items. And so at the end, they can actually, trade that in for rewards. So if we look right here at Maddie, you can see she's got 31 points, we can cash out, and then you can add what kind of rewards that they can have for those points. So that kind of really incentivizes them to use this display to mark off their routines, their tasks, and really helps everybody get organized. And so everybody is on the same page with all of their chores, with all of their calendar items and everything else. So a couple of things that were always in the display: you can start your week on Sunday, you can start your week on Saturday or Monday, just depending on what your family prefers. We like to start the week on Sunday, and then you can have it in a compact mode. Maybe you have a ton of appointments, so you can kind of condense that view if you want. So like, let's go ahead and see what compact mode looks like. And if we go back into the calendar, you can see it's kind of a lot more compact. If we come back in here and we switch this to normal, you can see it's a lot bigger. So if you have a lot of things to see, maybe it's better for you to have that compact mode. Those are the updates for the Hearth display. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of what they've done with this display. Love, love, love the updates. If you're looking to buy the Hearth display, I do have a code in the description below. I'm not getting paid for this review. I just saw all the updates and I really wanted to show those to you guys so you could see exactly what has changed on the Hearth display to make it even more useful and a great option for your family. So that's all I've got for today. I'm here to break down the tech so you can get back to living the life you want to live. Until next time, Family Tech powering down.